I am going to say something that will make people uncomfortable. I have spent most of my life apologizing for things that were not my fault. I am 90 years old. I have lived long enough to bury a husband, a sister, and 2 close friends. Long enough to watch my children grow into strangers. I am still trying to please. I keep a list, a green spiral notebook in my kitchen drawer. Every person I have ever apologized to, I wrote them down. There are 217 names in it. I started counting last year. That is when I realized most of them never deserved it. I did not always see it this way. For most of my life, I was quiet, accommodating, the one who smoothed things over. I was the secretary who stayed late, the wife who never complained, the mother who said it's fine when it was not fine. I thought that made me good. I thought that made me loved. I was taught that a woman's value was measured by how little trouble she caused. Now at 90, I know that was a lie, and I am done protecting it. It took me until I was 87 years old to understand what I had been doing wrong. I am 90 years old. I live in Richmond, Virginia. I was married to Raymond for 54 years before he passed in 2012. We had 3 children, 7 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild. I worked as an elementary school secretary for 38 years. I was the person parents yelled at when the principal was not available. I was good at absorbing other people's anger. Too good. The turning point came 3 years ago, a family dinner. I had hosted it. I had paid for it. One of my children, I will not say which one, complained about the meal in front of everyone. I apologized. Later that night, alone in the kitchen, I wrote the complaint down. Then I started writing down all of them. That was the beginning of the list. That list taught me 3 things I wish I had known at 40. The first thing I learned is this. I spent decades trying to earn love from people who had already decided whether or not to give it. For 11 years, I sent my youngest child $300 a month, sometimes more, to help with rent, groceries, car insurance. It started when that child was 29. It continued until I was 86. I never missed a month. The child called every few weeks, always warm, always grateful. Then one month, my pension was delayed, a bank error. I told my child I could not send the money until the following week. The child did not call back. Not that week, not that month. I sat at my kitchen table with the green notebook open in front of me. I did the math. $11,400. Gone. I was not being helped. I was being remembered. I stopped sending the money. The child called twice in the next 6 months, both times to ask for something. I said no both times. I slept better than I had in years. That was the first mistake. The second one cost me something I will never get back. The second lesson. I kept people in my life long after they stopped seeing me as a person. There was a church friend I had known for 34 years. We had coffee every other Tuesday for more than a decade. I always drove. I always paid. I always listened. One afternoon, I arrived early. I sat in my car outside the cafe. Through the window, I saw her already inside, sitting with 2 other women, laughing. I walked in. She looked up, smiled thinly. "Oh," she said, "is it Tuesday already?" The other women did not move. There was no chair waiting. I was not her friend. I was her schedule. I told her I had forgotten something in the car. I left. I never rescheduled. She never called to ask why, not once. I stopped feeling guilty about it after 3 weeks. I started going to the cafe alone on Thursdays instead. I spoke to no one. It was the most peaceful hour of my week. But the third mistake, that is the one I am still trying to forgive myself for. The third lesson is the hardest. I ignored my body's warnings because I thought saying no made me selfish. 4 years ago, I agreed to host Christmas dinner. 14 people. I was 86. My knees ached. My hands swelled by evening. I spent $487 on food. I cooked for 2 days. On Christmas morning, I felt a tightness in my chest that scared me. I said nothing. During dinner, someone criticized the dressing. Another person asked why I had not made 2 kinds of pie. No one asked if I needed help cleaning up. I stood at the sink at 9:47 that night. My hands were shaking. I realized something. I could have collapsed in that kitchen and they would have stepped over me to get to the leftovers. My body knew before I did I was killing myself to feed people who were not even hungry for me. I have not hosted a holiday since. My blood pressure, which had been 158/94, dropped to 129/78 within 5 months. That night, I pulled out the green notebook. I wrote my own name at the bottom. I owed myself the biggest apology of all. Now I know what people will think. They think I am bitter. They think I am angry. They think I have given up on family. Let me be clear. I am not bitter. I am not even angry anymore. I am finished. Finished pretending that silence is peace. Finished treating myself like an inconvenience in my own life. Finished apologizing for needing rest, for saying no, for not being everything to everyone. I do not hate the people in that notebook, but I no longer break myself open trying to prove I am worthy of their minimal effort. So here is what I know now at 90 that I wish I had known at 40. Half a century of mistakes taught me this. The people you bend for rarely notice, and the ones who love you never ask you to break. Let me say that again. The people you bend for rarely notice, and the ones who love you never ask you to break. Real love does not require you to disappear. It does not demand proof. It does not keep score. The people worth keeping are the ones who see you on your worst day and do not ask you to apologize for being human. You are allowed even now to stop apologizing for taking up space in your own life. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to let people be disappointed. Their disappointment is not your emergency. I keep that green notebook in my kitchen drawer still. I have not added a new name in 8 months. That is not because I have become perfect. It is because I have become honest. May you learn sooner than I did. May you write your own name first. Tell me how old you are and where you are listening from. And if you kept a list like mine, how many names would be on it?